Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Akila and today I'm going to be taking you through a vinyasa flow that's going to be pretty quick, and this one is really great to do in the morning. You can do this any time of day really that you want to, but this one is designed specifically to wake up some sticky muscles first thing in the morning. So we are going to be taking it through some kind of trickier transitions really close to the floor. So if you have blocks at home or anything of a similar size and shape, you can use books even to bring the floor a little bit closer to you for some of those low transitions. You can grab those for class, but other than that, I don't have any props today. And we will just go ahead and get started. Seated on the shins, you can even take your block if you have one underneath of the hips, between the feet. And you can bring the knees slightly in. Hands come to rest on the lap. You can gently take the eyes to close. We're just going to take a brief moment here to elongate the breath. Inhaling deeply through the nose, and you may notice a bit of a pause at the top of the breath. And if you're familiar with Ujjayi breathing, you can begin to tap into that now. And if you're not familiar with the Ujjayi breath, it is an inhale and exhale through the nose that is controlled. And on the exhale, there's a slight constriction of the throat so that when you exhale through the nose, with the mouth closed, it sounds a bit like an ocean wave. So this controlled breath in and out through the nose just really helps us regulate the flow of oxygen. And we'll take a few more breaths here on your own timing. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Feeling the bones at the bottom of the pelvis, the sit bones rooting down into the block if you have it, or into the floor. On your next inhale, you can gently blink the eyes to open. Move your block off to the top of your mat, and we'll meet in a tabletop position. Toes are going to be tucked here. Hands plant with the wrists directly underneath of the shoulders. And we're going to take it into a few cat-cows, but we're going to take a little bit of a variation. So on your inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest through forward, finding a cow pose. And on your exhale, you're going to round the back, press firmly into the palms of the hands, and curl the chest under. And as you do, maybe you take the right knee to the right elbow, finding a deep compression in the front of that right hip. Inhale, drop the toes and the knees back to the mat. Drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, we take the left knee to left elbow. Curl in, find a compression in the front of that left hip. Really rounding into the back here. Inhale, drop both knees, pull the chest through, drop the belly towards the floor, arching up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, round the back. Inhale, drop both knees, drop the belly, pull the chest through. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, rounding. We'll take a few more each side, but option to hover the bottom knee. So as you exhale, round into the back, Right knee comes to right elbow, maybe the left knee hovers. Curling into the spine. Drop both knees, inhale. Belly drops. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, maybe right knee lifts to a hover. One more time each side. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, left knee hovers. Inhale, belly drops. Last time here, exhale, press firmly into the palms, round the back. Left knee, left elbow, right knee hovers. On your exhale, drop both toes to the ground, hovering tabletop. Spine returns to neutral. And on your exhale, we lift the hips up and back, finding a downward facing dog, extending into the legs as much as is comfortable. Lengthening through the spine, creating space between each of the vertebrae, each of those bones of the spine. Any amount of little bend into the knees that you need to really lengthen into the spine. On your next inhale, take the gaze between the hands, bend into the knees, and take a series of little steps to come to the top of the mat to a forward fold. As you inhale, let there be a ripple through the spine, bringing the chest forward, finding a flat back. And exhale, release the fold over the legs, round through the spine. Inhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, all the way to stand. When you arrive, arms reach out and up overhead, palms come to touch, and the palms come through the heart space, down by the sides for Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach out and up again. As you exhale, fold over the legs. Let the head release last. Inhale, ripples through the spine to gaze forward, flat back. And exhale, any amount of bend in the knees that you need to plant the hands to the floor. Step back, finding a plank pose. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale from the knees or from the toes. We lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, untucking the toes. Tops of the feet come to the floor. Fingertips come out by the sides. And pull the chest forward, finding a baby cobra. Next exhale, you release the chest back down towards the floor. Press through your tabletop. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. Inhaling here deeply. And exhale, we settle into the pose. Really sending the tailbone up and away. Next inhale takes the gaze forward between the hands. Come up onto the toes and bend into the knees, and you can step or take a little hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. When you arrive, inhale, lengthen the spine, find a flat back. Any amount of bend in the knees here that you need. Exhale, we fold over the legs, waterfall the chest down. Inhale, rolling all the way up to stand, arms reach out and up overhead, palms meet to get through the center line of the body. And arms released by the sides, Tadasana. Inhale, reach up and out overhead. Exhale, we fold over the legs. Inhale, from the base of the spine, we ripple, finding a flat back. Crown of the head comes last. Exhale, fold over the legs. Bend any amount into the knees that you need to plant the hands. And this time you can step back through your plank and lower from your push-up high plank to your chaturanga, or you can put the weight into the hands and float the feet back, finding your chaturanga, elbows bend as you arrive at the bottom. Inhale, pull through for a back bend, can be baby cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here to reset, to regulate the pace of the breath. Sometimes when we're starting to bring some more rigorous movement into the body, especially first thing in the morning if you've just come from sleeping. Your body might be kind of like, what the heck is going on? We were just asleep and now you're moving. So taking these brief opportunities of pause, to just let the body know that it's okay. So we're going to take a little bit of a brief flow that we're going to build onto for our main sequence. So from this down dog, inhale, the right toes reach up and back, finding a three-legged dog, energy through the toes. Exhale, right knee pulls in through to the chest. Plant the right foot between the hands, finding a low lunge. This is where you may want to have your blocks for support. Inhale, the chest pulls forward, sternum, that center point of the chest, is reaching towards the front of your space. One more inhale here. On your exhale, you're going to put all of your weight into your right foot, shift forward. You're going to take your left knee to cross to meet the floor outside of your right foot. And you're going to bring the hips to come to a seat. So you should be now in a seat with your right leg crossed over, right foot planted just outside of the left knee. We're going to come into a gentle twist towards the right here. So using your left hand on the outer side of your right knee to traction the chest over towards the right. And really being gentle here. There's no need to crank your body into this twist. Just finding that gentle opening of the chest to the right. On your next inhale, come back through the center. We're going to plant both of your hands with the fingertips facing the front of your mat behind you. You're going to unravel your left leg and plant the left foot to the floor next to the right and lift the hips coming up, finding your reverse tabletop. Really squeezing into the glutes here, pressing down through both heels equally. And exhale, the hips come back to the mat. Same way you came into it, crossing the left leg underneath. And we're gonna reach the arms forward, maybe with or without the help of the hands, pull the weight forward into the right foot. And then maybe use your blocks to step the left foot back to the back of the mat, low lunge. These transitions are a little bit wild this morning, so if you don't get it on the first round, don't worry, we will be revisiting a very similar flow. From your low lunge, peel your right arm up and open, finding the twist in your lunge. See if you can square your back, your shoulder blades, to the left edge of your mat. Taking your left knee pit, the back of your knee, up towards the ceiling. And on your next exhale, we're going to thread the right arm underneath of the left and then straighten into the right leg, pivot the toes to the edge of the mat, walk through your wide-legged forward fold. And we're going to find your way to the back of the mat. Finding a low lunge, stepping the left foot back, finding your plank pose. Inhaling deeply here. On the exhale, you lower down, find your chaturanga or all the way to the belly. Inhale, pull through, find your upward facing dog or back bend of choice. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Letting the head fall heavy here. Next inhale takes your left leg up and back, finding that three-legged dog. Exhale, pulling the knee in towards the chest, stepping the foot through, finding your low lunge. If you need to take a little detour back to the original front of your mat to get your blocks here, feel free to do so. Inhaling, chest pulls forward. Exhale, right knee pit to the ceiling. On your next exhale, you're going to shift the weight forward into the right foot and then cross the right knee to the outside of the left foot. From here, we come to a seat and come into our twist. So left leg should be crossed over the right here. Left foot is planted to the outer edge of the right knee. Inhales, find length in the spine. Exhales, twist to the left. One more breath in here. On your exhale, unravel the twist. Plant the fingertips behind the hips. Your fingertips are going to face the new front of your mat. Unravel that right leg, plant it next to the left, and lift the hips up for a reverse tabletop. Inhaling here. As you exhale, hips return to the mat. You're going to thread that right foot back under, shin comes to the mat. As we shift forward, maybe the hands reach forward or maybe they press you up. Hands plant on either side of the left foot to step the right foot to the back of the mat, finding your low lunge. Inhale, peels the left fingertips open for your easy twist. Inhaling, lengthen the spine, lengthen the back leg. Exhale, maybe you find a little bit more of a corkscrew towards the left. On the next exhale, you're going to thread your left hand underneath of the right. Straighten into the left leg, transit through your forward fold, back to the original top of your mat, finding your low lunge. Inhaling here. Exhale, we step back through the plank, lower down, chest. Inhale pulls you through to your back bend of choice. And exhale takes the hips up and back, finding a downward facing dog. We'll just take a moment, drop the knees to the floor here, toes together, so the hips back to the heels. Finding a brief child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat. Just taking a little moment of pause here to catch the breath before we move into the main sequence of the class this morning. So we're going to be taking that same basic idea for the first flow we just did. And we're just going to be taking a few extra steps for some of the poses. So if you found that first flow that we just did to be a sufficient challenge, you can always just repeat it exactly how we just did it. Next inhale takes you through your tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up and back for your three-legged dog. Rooting into all of your fingertips and pressing firmly into the left foot. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it into the chest, through, finding your low lunge. Inhaling here. Exhale, we cross the left knee behind to the outer edge of the right foot, coming to a seat, and then come into your twist to the right. So maybe this transition feels a little bit smoother this time around. It's one of the most rewarding things about the practice is being able to revisit something and notice the growth. On the next exhale, we're going to unravel the twist. This time, just the left hand to plant behind the hips. We're going to unravel that left leg, plant it out straight in front, and lift the hips, come up onto the ball of the right foot. Maybe you come into a wild thing. Any adjustments that you need here? And exhale. We sit the hips back down, threading that left leg underneath. With or without the hands, pull forward into the right foot, stepping the left foot back, finding your low lunge. Inhaling here. As you exhale, the right fingertips peel up towards the ceiling. Now here, option for another variation. You can have the option to spin all 10 of your toes to the right edge of the mat, and maybe the hips drop as the right arm reaches back, coming into a horizon pose. So really feeling the stretch along the outsides of the thighs, the IT bands. Inhale takes you back through the center, walking through your wide-legged forward fold. Taking it to a low lunge on the second side. Left foot steps back to meet right plank pose. Exhale, we lower down, chaturanga. Pull through to your back bend. And exhale, flip over the feet and lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So just that little sequence on the second side. And then we'll take it into a bit of a meditation to close. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it through, stepping the left foot through, finding your low lunge. Inhaling here. As we exhale, crossing the right knee to the outside of the left foot, hips meet the floor, and we come into a little twist towards the left. So right hand is the outer left knee. To traction the chest over towards the left. Inhaling here. Exhale as we unravel. Plant the left hand to the back behind the hips. And then unravel the right foot to extend it forward. Press into the right hand and the left foot to lift the hips up, finding a wild thing. Remembering to breathe here. One more inhale. And as you exhale, hips drop. We recross the right leg under the left. Bring the weight forward, reach the hands forward. Bring the weight entirely into the left foot so you can step the right foot to the back of the mat, low lunge. Inhaling deeply here. On the exhale, peel the left fingertips open to twist. Option to stay in this twist, or you can point all 10 toes to the left edge of the mat. Maybe the hips drop towards the mat. Right hip taps the mat as the left fingertips reach back. Inhaling here. And exhale, we unravel. Taking it through the wide-legged forward fold, all the way back to the top of the mat, low lunge. Step the right foot back to meet the left. We'll take it through one last vinyasa. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, pull through to your back bend. And exhale, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, just drop the knees to tap to the mat. Toes come together, hips sit back to the heels. And from here, we'll just thread the right arm underneath of the left, bringing the right ear to the mat. Just finding this gentle little twist. And thread the needle in your child's pose. Lengthening the breath. letting your body know that we are getting ready to come into a meditation. Next breath in unravels the right hand, bringing it forward, and we'll take the left hand and thread it underneath. Left ear comes to the mat. Thread the needle on that second side. And I am going to be offering a seated meditation for the last few minutes of class. But you're more than welcome to come to a traditional Shavasana instead if you don't find a seated meditation restful. You can really come into any peaceful shape here that you feel will allow you to surrender completely. Next inhale unravels the left arm. And if you're joining me in a seat, you can either come into a hero's pose the way we started with the block underneath of the hips, or a cross-legged seat, or again, any reclined position. Hands can come to meet at the heart, or they can rest on the lap. And we'll just take a brief moment here to scan through the body. Bring some awareness to how we're feeling. Maybe how it feels different to when we started class today. So first, drawing your attention to your toes. Maybe give them a little wiggle. Getting out any fidgets before you let them come to stillness. Bring the attention up through the heels. Feel them either grounded to the floor or making contact with the air around you. And release into the ankles. Feel your awareness up the shins, up the calves, letting them surrender completely if there's any tension being held there. And relax into the knees. Let the quad muscles fall heavy. Feel your hip flexors release any residual tension. If you're holding the abdomen at all, let it relax. Feel the rise and fall of the belly with each inhale and exhale. Bring the attention up towards the chest. Feel a broadening across the collarbones. Letting energy fall down the shoulder blades, heavy towards the floor. Maybe take some gentle movements of the neck. If there's anything being held there, let it dissipate. Maybe open and close the jaw a few times, encouraging relaxation in the jaw. And take your awareness to the space right between the eyebrows to the forehead. And if there's any creasing happening there, see if you can let it smooth out. And lastly, take your attention to the crown of your head and see if you can feel a gentle energy pulling the crown of the head either towards the ceiling if you're sitting or towards the wall behind you if you're reclined. And let it bring a regal posture, and that gentle energy pulling you up while the tailbone grounds down. And feel that equilibrium, that balance, that opposition. And take one more breath, one more moment to feel into all these different parts of your body that you have awakened for yourself. You can gently blink the eyes open, start to take your awareness into the rest of the room. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And if you like these classes, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps for the growth of my channel and my ability to continue to do these classes. If you'd like to do more of my classes, I'll provide some links up here so that you can try some different classes as well. And thank you again so much for practicing with me today.